Hello, this is Left Turn Productions, and welcome to the 2020 LTPSS. This is race number 3 of the season, and this is the first one with the Legends Series cars. Here at Sunoco Speedway. Last time the Legends cars went to Sunoco Speedway, it was a crazy race that Ryan Kendall ended up winning. But Kendall is not in the field here today. 26 cars here, and this is also actually the second part of a doubleheader with the BMRN, because the BLPS, or otherwise known as the Collab Series that me and him are doing, had their race over on the BMRN's channel, and that was at the same track, and it was just a couple hours ago. So yeah, we'll see what will end up happening here in this race. I recommend you go watch that race as well. So yeah, 26 drivers out here, and let's get into your notables going into this race. So LJ Toledo's second in points heading into this race, but he is starting dead last because he crashed in qualifying. Interesting thing is that this is the only car that did not run in the York Legends series when I ran that. So this is the only one where this is the first time it's being run. So yeah, LJ Toledo's got a bit of a challenge here, it appears. And then you got Brittany Wilmington and Brendan Creason, two drivers who were up there at the end in the All-Star race, but ultimately didn't get it done, as well as Caleb Campbell, the points leader. They're all starting towards the back here. And then you've got the City Lights Petty Motorsports team, a collaboration team between City Lights Racing, owned by Shane Wenzloff, and Richard Petty Motorsports, owned by Richard Petty. And they've been struggling this season, but they got both their cars inside the top 12 here today. Wenzloff has shown some speed in these cars before, and Ray Alton, this is the first time he's running one of these cars, so we'll see what they can do with these cars. And then you have the 3 of Scarlet Rose and the 8 of Flambeau Camaro teammates on Richard Childress Racing. Both of them qualified well, and it looks like the RCR cars have some speed here today. And finally, you have a very interesting front row, because earlier this month in the All-Star race, it came down to a few different drivers. James Edwards was in the lead coming off at turn 4, but Brian Ferris turned him around, sent him into the grass, and Brian Ferris ended up winning the race. So, yeah, and it turns out that these two are on the front row. I swear this was not fixed. This was completely just a coincidence. So yeah, anyway, let's look at your starting lineup. The rest of it. Row 1 is Brian Ferris and James Edwards. Row 2 is Hope Wilmington and Trivia May. Row 3 is Scarlet Rose and Flambeau Camaro. Row 4 is James Johnson and Caleb Rose. And rounding out the top 10 is Shane Wenzloff and Jake Hoover. Row 6 is Ray Alton and Dee Pepper. Row 7 is Jeff Toledo and Richard Herman. Row 8 is Jacob Persner and Gameplayer 88. Row 9 is Caleb Campbell and Brendan Creason. And row 10 is Brady Wilmington and Riley Neiman. Row 11 is Grant Hoover and Sam Lester. Row 12 is Trey Wright and Zachary DeLello. And rounding out your field is Cookie and LJ Toledo. So 12 laps is the distance that this race is going to be run. We expect to see a lot of action here today at Sunoco Speedway as the cars go through turn number 4, and they're going to take the green flag. The green flag in the air as the cars roll by. And going into turns 2 and 3, we'll catch up with your leaders. Brian Ferris in the lead, the pole sitter. He got some extra points for sitting on the pole here today. And, going into turn 4, it looks like James Edwards bumped him out of the way. And he's going to lead the first lap. Edwards being a little aggressive with the bumper early on, and he's going to take over the lead with Hope Wilmington in tow. Now Brian Ferris trying to come back for second here with help from teammate Trivia May. As they go into the tricky turn 4, this corner has caused a lot of problems before, and speaking of problems in turn 4, we got some going on right now. The first caution of the race is out. Dee Pepper into the wall. Jeff Toledo into the wall. I saw Caleb Rose go around, and a few others also involved. And that is your first caution of the race. Just as I was saying that turn 4 was causing problems, it has caused a problem here. It looked like they just got stacked up. So a tough break here for Jeff Toledo and D. Pepper, who were both inside the top 12 in points. And they are definitely going to take a hit after that. So let's look at the replay and see what happened. So they're going into turn number 4. And yeah, just like I suspected, they all just stacked up going into turn 4. Maybe Ray Alton went in a little too hot. Ray Alton and Caleb Rose both got a bit of damage there in that. Maybe Jacob Hersner has some too, I don't know. But the 47 got hooked there, and so did the 1. And they both went into the outside wall. They are both out of the race. These two both had good finishes in the last points-paying race at Frankfurt. And Jacob Hersner won at Fresno. So a lot of good runs being spoiled here today. And here's your last look at it. And it looked like the 53 and 43 got together. They just stacked up. The 47 turned across the nose of the 62 to try to avoid and end up putting him into the outside wall. So tough break there. So yeah, 2 cars out of the race here on lap number 3, and we are going to have a restart on lap number 4. Alright, here you see Caleb Rose and Ray Alton starting at the back of the field. They got the damage repaired, and we're going to have a restart on lap number 4. James Edwards in the lead with Brian Ferris on the outside. Green flag back in the air. Edwards gets out to a good lead as the Penske teammates fight for second. How about Flambeau Camaro going to the bottom? He's going to go 3 wide, and he's going to take over the second spot. What a move by Flambeau Camaro. Very impressive move by that 8 car. As now we're going to lap 5. The Midway bonus is at lap number 6. As we see some 3 wide action going on here. The Midway bonus is at the end of lap number 6. Excuse me. But yeah, we had some 3 wide action going on in the pack. Flambeau Camaro starting to reel in James Edwards. We might have a fight for that Midway bonus there. Speaking of Midway bonus, I believe the fight for the last point is between the 42 and the 3, and the 3 falls down to 10th, it looks like. Flambeau Camaro to the outside. Oh, we got some problems going into turn 2. James Johnson's around. The 19 is in it as well, and Caleb Campbell, the points leader, gets caught up in this one as the caution comes out just before the Midway bonus, and Caleb Rose piles in late. James Edwards will win the Midway bonus. He will get all 10 of those points, and Scarlett Rose will get the last point. So a tough break for those drivers right there. Let's look at the replay. So here is the replay of that wreck that happened on lap number 6 just before the halfway bonus. There you can see James Johnson, who was, I believe, inside the top 4 in points heading into this race. And he gets turned around by Brian Ferris into the inside wall hard, head on. And then he gets hit, picked up in the air by the 19 of Jacob Hersner. And it looked like Caleb Campbell just got caught up because the back end of the 41 swung right into his path after the 19 hit him. And then Caleb Rose piles in late, add insult to injury to Caleb Campbell, it looks like. So Campbell, the points leader heading in, probably not going to be the points leader heading out. As we're going to look at the replay one more time. It's a tough break for everybody involved, but especially Caleb Campbell and James Johnson. Yeah, Johnson got turned into the inside wall by Ferris, then got picked up in the air by the 19, and then the back end swung right into the path of Caleb Campbell. Campbell was definitely going to avoid that, if not for that happening. And then, of course, Caleb Rose piles in as well. Both Caleb's taken out in this wreck. So yeah, that's going to be a tough break for them. But let's look at the results of the Midway point. So here's the Midway results. James Edwards takes the full 10 points here. Flambeau Camaro will get 9. Trivia May will get 8. Hope Wilmington will get 7. Brian Ferris will get 6. Shane Wensloff will get 5. Jake Hoover will get 4. Richard Herman will get 3. LJ Toledo will get 2 after starting dead last. So he went from 26th to 9th in just 6 laps. So pretty good for him. Maybe he can get up near the front. And Scarlet Rose will get 1 point for finishing 10th in this Midway. Or for being in 10th at the Midway point. It just so happens that all 3 Midway points have had a caution around them this season. So yeah, here we go. We're going to enter the second half of this race, and it looks like maybe sunset, as James Edwards and Flambeau Camaro will be on the front row, and the green flag is in the air. James Edwards tried to clear Trivia May, and May's going to duck underneath, going to try to go for the lead. Edwards has led every lap so far. He's going to have to hold Trivia May off, and he doesn't. He slides into the inside wall, and he's going to collect Jake Hoover as well. The caution is out, and the dominant car of the day is junked, along with Jake Hoover. Tough break for both teams. Let's look at the replay. The battle for the lead goes wrong as the 5 car gets spun from the lead for the second race in a row, if you include the All-Star race. So Edwards had the run on the outside of Trivia May, and I think he misjudged it. He did not get spun by the 2. He spun himself out. He got into the inside wall. Nowhere to go for Jake Hoover. Just slides right up into his path. Jake Hoover almost came up and clipped his brother Grant Hoover and could have turned him around, but fortunately, everybody else is able to miss the crash. But a tough break for both of those guys. But I don't think this will drop either of them that far down in the points, since they both did get some points from the Midway bonus, and a decent amount of them. So this shouldn't hurt them too bad, but a heartbreaking loss for James Edwards as he led every lap up until this point. So definitely a turning point in the race. Has blown the doors wide open for anybody to come and win this. And I believe Trivia May will be the leader coming to this restart. Trivia May and Brian Ferris, the 2 Penske cars, lining up first and second. So good run for Team Penske after their bad luck in the BLPS this season. And green flag is in the air here on lap number 8. We got a few guys further back in the pack trying to play spoiler here. Flambeau Camaro going to second. How about Shane Winslow? He tried to make the move that Flambeau Camaro made earlier in the race. Not enough room. And LJ Toledo is going to go to the inside 3 wide. He might get into the top 5 here, and he will. Toledo up to 4th. Trivia May still in the lead. Brian Ferris going to try to challenge for second, maybe going into turn 1. And they're side by side for second place, and we've got some help on the inside. Ferris goes to second again, and it's once again Penske 1-2 as Toledo goes to third, but he's going to get jumped to the bottom. Richard Herman, where did he come from? He's getting into the mix as well. It's still May and Ferris 1 and 2. Ferris is closing in though, coming into turn 1. Richard Herman also closing in. May's going to get challenged for the lead. Oh, we got a wreck. The 6 car is sideways and into the wall hard. Riley Neiman. Tough break. The other Roush Fenway Racing car. The first one being Jake Hoover. A rough day for that team, definitely. Riley Neiman was having a top 15 run, it looked like, and he just got turned. Let's look at the replay. Okay, so this is interesting. Riley Neiman was very mad over the radio. And I can definitely see why. So here's the context for this. Scarlet Rose had been stuck on the outside for several laps, pretty much since that last restart, and was losing spots rapidly because you don't want to stay on the outside for too long at this track, because turn 1 and turn 4 are flat. Only turns 2 and 3 are banked. And so she was falling outside of the top 10 and was about to fall outside of the top 15. So it looked like she just had enough and tried to squeeze into a hole that was not there and just turned the 6 car around into the outside wall. Definitely a very fishy looking wreck right there. I don't think Scarlett wanted to turn him it looked like she just wanted to get down to the inside, but there was no hole there. It kind of looked like the Kyle Busch Chase Elliott incident from Darlington in real life. Yeah, that's what it looked a lot like. And Riley Neiman definitely wasn't happy about that. We might see a confrontation after the race between these two drivers. So keep an eye on that, as Neiman is out of the race, but Rose is able to continue. She will not have any penalties for this, I don't believe. There might be some after the race, though. Just keep an eye on that. Anyway, we're going to have a restart with, I believe, only 2 laps to go, and Trivia May is your leader. Can she get her first win on the channel? Let's find out. Alright, it's May and Ferris on the front row again. The Penske teammates looking to finish 1-2 here. We'll see if that'll end up happening. We got some hungry drivers back there, including Richard Herman and Shane Wensloff. Green flag back in the air, 2 laps to go. Herman giving May a shove. May maybe going to the lead here, and she will go to the outside in turns 2 and 3 and clear the 12 car. Richard Herman's going to move up to second now, and he's all over the back bumper at Trivia May. Once again on the back bumper going into turn 4. They're 3 wide behind them. White flag is in the air. Hope Wilmington and Shane Wensloff almost got together. Here comes Herman. He's going to go to the inside. The slide job through turns 2 and 3. May's going to try the crossover. May has the preferred line going into turn 4. Coming around the final corner. May might jump out ahead. They're side by side. They're wrecking in the back. May's going to win the race. Herman second in a photo finish. And we had someone get turned around in the back there as well. What a finish to this one. Let's go ahead and look at the replay of that. So this is right after the restart here. Going into turn 1, they're still side by side. Trivia May on the bottom passes her teammate Brian Ferris in turns 2 and 3. But Richard Herman got a good run through those corners as well. Both of these drivers had never won up to this race. Herman was actually on a long losing streak, because he's been around a while and still has not won. This was his best chance yet. But coming to the white flag here, look at that. Hope Wilmington and Shane Wensloff make contact there. It looked like Wilmington just came up into the 40. You think that maybe sparked the 40 to turn? I think the 40 did turn the 14 going into the corner. Anyway, Richard Herman does the slide job. Trivia May does the crossover. Exactly what they needed to do. Exactly what May needed to do in that situation. And then going into turn 4, they're side by side. Wensloff gets into the back bumper. The 14, he overdrove the corner, definitely. I don't know if that was an intentional wreck. And coming to the line, it was that close. And May will get it. You can see the pack bunched up behind them. And Hope Wilmington does end up finishing the race. And she was not happy over the radio after that race. Definitely. So we might see more rivalries other than the 6 and the 3. And speaking of the 6 and the 3, Riley Neiman walked up to Scarlett Rose's car after the race and got his head through the window and started yelling at her, definitely. No punches were thrown, but they definitely were having a pretty heated argument going on there. So I'd keep an eye on this rivalry. There will not be any penalties for this. Nor will there be any penalties for the Wensloff and Wilmington situation. But yeah, definitely a lot of tempers flaring after this race, which is kind of what I thought was going to end up happening, because that's what happened last time the Legends were here. So yeah, let's look at your finishing results here. Trivia May gets her first win on the channel. Richard Herman that close to getting his first win on the channel. Shane Wensloff with a solid 3rd place. He has not won on the channel since York Cup Series Season 4. No, it was York Cup Series Season 3, I think, actually. Brady Wilmington finishes 4th. Nice run for him. Brian Ferris in 5th. Grant Hoover finishes 6th. Flambeau Camaro 7th. Scarlett Rose 8th. LJ Toledo 9th. And Brendan Creason snuck into the top 10 there at the end. Cookie finishes 11th. Ray Alton, Sam Lester, Game Player 88. Zachary DeLello, Trey Wright, and Hope Wilmington are the final cars to finish the race. Riley Neiman finishes 18th. He's the first DNF here. James Edwards, heartbreak for him. He led the entire race up till he got wrecked. Or until he wrecked himself. Jake Hoover finishes 20th, and then it's James Johnson, Jacob Hersner, Caleb Campbell, Caleb Rose, Jeff Toledo, and D. Pepper. So as you might expect, this definitely shook up the points. And by the way, I forgot to mention, this series will have a chase, a shootout to the championship. If you guys are not aware of this, the top 4 drivers in points after the Under Armour weekend, or the Under Armour week, plus 2 wild cards between 5th and 12th, will go on to the Evansville triple header, and those 6 will battle it out for the championship. So yeah, let's look at what those points look like. Trivia May is the new points leader after that win. LJ Toledo finishes second, or LJ Toledo is second in points. Hope Wilmington third in points, and Caleb Campbell fourth in points. Just 1 point over Brian Ferris. Brady Wilmington, those 2 are the wild cards. Now, if someone with a win was in this 5th through 12th range, they would take one of the wild card spots, but the only other person with a win here, other than the 2 and the 12, is Jacob Hersner, and as you can see, he is actually 2 points out of that wild card cut. So right now, Ferris and Wilmington have the wild cards, but you don't have to worry about that too much this early in the season. This won't come into play until very late in the season. You can see Richard Herman, James Johnson, Flambeau Camaro, Riley Neiman, Scarlett Rose, Grant Hoover, the rest of the top 12 there. As you can see, 13th through 26th here. These guys back here. You know who you are. You can go ahead and find yourself. So congratulations to Trivia May on her first win on the channel. And also Penske's first win of the season. Other than Ferris's All-Star race win. So the next race I'm going to do is the Collab Series race at Hooverville. And then we get into Omaha 500 weekend. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Well, Omaha 500 month. It's an entire month. What am I saying? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This is Left Turn Productions, signing out.